to start us up here. We'll see if it wants to. Oh, there we go. Bob, where did you hit the Kyler with that logo? I mean, that logo. That's so sick.
The logo one?
Yes.
I traded my Paris Campbell 101 I hit out of NT to somebody.
Oh.
It was like that American flag with the auto or whatever.
Yeah. With the.
I know, yeah.
You're a better putter than you think you are. It's just that your putter's been holding you back.
Sorry about that, guys.
Check this out. It's just that your putter's.
So that someone traded. That's awesome. All right, just tweeting out that we're live. There we go. And we'll pin that.
Hey, people are watching. It's crazy.
Woo!
All right, so
They don't know what they're in for.
Yeah, right.
I just booted up my laptop, so I can get into the chat and see what's going on.
Oh, there you go. Well, we have a couple. We'll. I mean, I never know what to. Like I said, I don't know what to expect. What's up, Brody? How are you doing? Our buddy Brody's in.
Andrew, Josh, what's up, dude?
I don't know. I can't see anything yet, but I'll be there soon.
Well, Brian, they're just. It looks like they're relentlessly making fun of you right now. No, I'm just kidding.
It's ripping on you, not stop.
It's probably my failed attempt at a quarantine beard that I can't grow.
Oh, you too? Okay, and I'm just glad it's not. It's just not me.
Yeah, that's pretty weak.
I know.
I'm not allowed to grow a beard, and you guys are, and I'm growing a better beard than you guys.
I can't, dude.
Hey, Bobby, this is a year's worth of work right here. You think this is overnight? Come on.
Yeah.
Always.
All right. Oh, live. All right. I'm gonna go in.
I can stop this.
The only thing is, if you're watching the YouTube feed versus watching the Zoom feed, all of our mouth, it's like a 3-second delay. So you kind of get like.
Yeah. That's weird.
But yeah, stream looks good. Folks are starting to trickle in. So, all right. So, those in the chat, welcome. We're live. We have, well, it depends on the order on your screen, but over here on my screen is Mr. Bobby, a.k.a. 50 Cheddar Bob. And right down here is Brian, a.k.a. PackerCards87. Welcome to the channel. We're here to shoot the breeze, answer your questions, hang out. I mean, it's just kind of a chill night and so forth. So, yeah. First off, why don't we start, Bobby and Brian, why don't you tell us a little bit about, like, what's been going on the last couple of months with you guys in the hobby? Any, like, big exciting polls, anything that you're looking forward to? Obviously, it's kind of a different time with no shows and everything like that. So how have you guys been engaging with the hobby outside of the video stuff here in the last few months?
Well, Bobby, you want to start or you want me to start since I'm already talking?
Yeah, I can start.
Okay.
So yeah, it's been kind of different the last couple months with there not being any like new products. So I've kind of been scrapping and looking for weird different things to rip open. So it's kind of been doing some like repack product stuff and whatever. As far as big pulls, obviously Kyler out of NT and then that 101 Daniel Jones out of Flawless. But since then, hasn't really been anything crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm hoping we're kind of getting back to normal here coming up soon. Hopefully, we'll see what happens. I don't know if you've heard differently, either one of you guys.
Yeah, it kind of looks like we're in for a bombardment of new product. There's I think like almost 4 or 5 next week, another 4 or 5 the week after. Like everything's kind of like coming in at once. So it'll be interesting to see how much of this product they release like back-to-back weeks. So
his mohawk is awesome.
Yeah, that was awesome.
That's great. I wish I could have one of those.
I gave him a good mohawk, dude.
Absolutely. Brian, what about you? What's been going on with you in the hobby?
Dude, I've been trying to finish this Prism Silver set. I think I need 28 more. So kind of been working on that, especially with this lull in products. I don't know. I mean, after getting in a bunch of flawless breaks with Bobby down there. He said, "Hey, dude, why don't you grab the Bucks?" Because I can never get the Packers. It's really hard to get the Packers in flawless breaks, right?
I'm sure. Yeah.
People are trying to get the Rodgers and the Favre all the time. And I'm like, well, okay, that's fine. And I looked at the Bucks, and the Bucks have a ton of autos in flawless, so I've been getting them. I've been pulling mad Bucks in breaks, dude. So
and they're cheap, right? They're not very expensive.
No, they're cheap. So I got like all the old school dudes: Derek Brooks, Warren Sapp, Rondé Barber. I don't know. There's some other dudes too. Mike Allstott. I got all those guys. So that kind of got me thinking, like, man, it'd be fun to collect like team sets from each team of flawless. You know?
Oh wow!
Like,
yeah.
All like the vet players, all the legendary players that are on there, all the guys that have like on-card autos in flawless. That'd be super cool. So that's what I'm doing.
and I see that you picked the right set. You didn't go with like, Legacy or Classics. You just went straight to flawless.
Hey, but dude, those Legacy updates in Chronicles, oh my gosh.
Are those sweet? So the Chrome?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, they look awesome.
Dude, the Luminance and the Legacy Chrome cards in Chronicles. I mean, we ripped a ton of Chronicles last night. It's a really cool set. I mean, I've loved it in basketball. Yeah.
The Legacies are my favorite, man. These
Very cool.
For the Luminance ones.
Well, and I know there's some people that were excited to see some like old school sets like Momentum and Vertex come back, and it's a neat break because it's literally you almost want to stop and look at every card, which is really cool.
I like those Titan ones too because Titan's Saturn's largest moon, so and it's got like the view of Saturn on the front of the card.
Yeah,
I don't know the little things. I thought that was pretty cool. So.
Very cool. And was Titan a football product before? Or was that wasn't it basketball like a couple years ago?
I never even heard of it.
Yeah.
That was new to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Yeah, but it's a cool set, and I think Chronicles did well. We I think the coolest card we saw yesterday was we had I really like the RPAs from Crown Royal. The silhouettes kind of reminds me of Preferred, one of my favorite sets, and I really like those RPAs in basketball. And we got a really neat Lamar Jackson that had part of the Baltimore logo on it, and it was his jersey number 8 to 10. It was a really cool card, and I was like, man, this is like so cool. A lot of neat stuff out of that product. But even like I said, I think even the base cards, because whether it's the Chrome versions or some other things, are going to be pretty cool to have long term. So we'll see.
I'm just happy. I was just happy it was a new product.
Yeah. Oh gosh. Yeah.
Jake Cochran 7122. That's awesome, dude. I'm just reading some of the comments.
Oh yeah, that's Jeremy. What's up, Jeremy?
Matt, I don't know how many Jordys I really have. I haven't counted it. It's probably a lot.
Brian, how many like 4-row boxes or whatever you store them in? How many boxes of Jordys do you have?
Well, I have 2 3-row boxes, and I have 5 flawless briefcases.
Wow.
And then I have all the stuff back here, all the stuff on my display upstairs. So, yeah.
10?
Yeah. That's
cards?
It's a few. It's a few.
Couple. I got a couple.
Bobby, do you have any?
What?
Have you ever pulled a Jordy Auto?
Dude, no.
No way.
I've never pulled one. I've opened 2008 boxes. I've opened hundreds of boxes, dude. Never pulled a Jordy Auto.
Well, that's gotta change, man. Because that will be like the penultimate video that you do when you're doing like a hobby pack opening or something, and you pull that first Jordy Auto like while you're recording. I mean, that will be that'd be special.
I might freak out a little bit.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
So
very cool.
Let's see. M. Roz said, Brian, from another collector with a big family, how do you balance life and the hobby, especially convincing the wife to spend money on cardboard? Well, let me tell you. Yeah, it is a little difficult balancing life and the hobby. You would not believe how close things are cut when I'm trying to make a video. Get the kids all ready for bed, get them to bed, make sure everything's quiet, and then I got like a little bit of time to make a video. Sometimes you might hear somebody banging around upstairs in a video or something like that, but it's a fine balance. I don't get down here to mess with my cards as much as I'd like to. Don't have much time with them. I wish I had more, but we're raising a family, you know, so that's kind of where I'm at with that. But with the whole spending the money thing, I started out, I do a lot of side jobs. I'm an automotive technician, so I do a lot of side jobs, and that's how I pay for the hobby. And now it's kind of paying for itself, I guess. I don't know, you know.
Yeah, you're kind of growing it up to that point, right?
Yeah, so that's card stuff separate than everything else. So that's kind of how it is. Things need to be separated. Like family stuff, this is for family stuff. This is for card stuff. So
yeah, my recommendation to any collector would be, start with a budget. I think when I first started collecting, one of the things that was interesting was I had to sell all the big hits that I got because that's where I got the money to buy new boxes and get into breaks and stuff. And I think in hindsight, what I wish I would have done had I known then what I know now is keep those and try, like Brian suggested, try to figure out, what part of the budget can I allocate to the hobby, stick within that, stick within your means, sell the cards that don't have as much meaning to you and so forth, and then, kind of do it from there, whether it's buying singles, joining breaks, doing personal boxes or whatever. But I will tell everybody, and I know both of you will agree, being married as well, is that the last thing you want to do is not tell your spouse. So I would be very transparent with that, because that's something you don't want to face. The surprise. What is this?
2015, when I first got back into the hobby, my LCS, which was Price's Collectibles at the time, had 2014 playbook for. Maybe it was 2015 playbook. It was cheap. It was like $50 a box or something, I grabbed the box, pulled a Peyton Manning auto booklet out of 5. I wish I would have kept that. I wish I would have kept it.
Yep. My favorite story was I bought, my wife and I were out in Vegas, and I bought a couple boxes from the shop out there, Legacy Sports Cards. And this was 2017, from Optic, pulled the one-of-one Mahomes, Watson, and Trubisky triple auto. An incredible card at the time. Obviously, now it's a ridiculously huge card. And but I sold it because I had to raise funds to continue with the hobby. Well, the person who bought it from me ended up grading it, and then I saw it on eBay about 9 months ago. And, of course, it went for way, way more than what I sold it for. But I was almost like, if I had the money at the time, it was right when I was starting the business, and so I didn't have as much flexible income. But if I had a chance now, I probably would overpay and get that card just for the great story that it is.
Dude, yeah, for sure.
But to see it again, I was like, oh, gosh, there it is.
Dude, I thought about hitting up the guy because I remember who got it off of me. I've been thinking about hitting him up for that Peyton and being like, hey, man. Let me get that.
Need a shout out?
Right? Let's see. Bobby, how far away do we live from each other?
It's like an hour and a half.
Hour and a half.
Easy drive. Yeah, great shot.
Do you guys get together pretty frequently, or is it just like, holiday stuff, or?
Not as much as we'd like to.
Yeah,
sure.
Probably every couple weeks or so. It's not. Yeah,
that's still pretty good. Yeah.
Like do it.
Well, especially lately.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Lately, it's been obviously because people are like, well, stay at home. So it's been kind of stay at home.
Yeah.
My work rule is I'm not supposed to go anywhere at all. So.
Yeah. So for those that don't know, the 5-0 in Cheddar Bob is because you're a police officer, right? So like, how's that been like right now? I mean, your job has got to be like radically different, right?
Yeah, it's weird. The last couple nights have been much better, kind of getting back to normal and like seeing people out and about at night. But yeah, before it was kind of odd. Yeah, but it's getting better. So we'll see. It was boring, to be honest with you. It was awful. There was like nothing going on.
Even the criminals were quarantined.
yeah, seriously, like nobody was like doing anything. It was weird.
Wow, man.
You didn't have to have anybody cuff themselves.
Call them on the phone.
You throw the cuffs at them, and you're like, "Here, put those on."
Yeah, exactly. That's funny. We were actually like calling people like for a lot of we weren't even going to the house. We were like calling if we could handle it over the phone. So it wasn't even police work. It was
Wow.
So I'm glad that's kind of going to be over here soon.
So let's talk real quick about. So I know one of the things I wanted to touch on that I was interested in. So one of the reasons that we're hanging out here is we've gotten to know each other over the last couple of nationals, and obviously I was looking forward to Atlantic City as much as one can look forward to Atlantic City. But so for those of you that don't know, the national, which was usually at the end of July, got pushed back. It is now slated, I think, December 12th through the 16th or something like that.
That sounds right.
Somewhere right in the middle of December there, kind of about a week or so before Christmas. What are your guys' thoughts? I'm curious. First off, were you planning on attending when it was during the summer? And what do you think about the reschedule and the chances that even happens this year?
Yeah, both of us.
Yes. Sorry,
yes.
I don't know who's going to talk first.
That's fine. Yeah, we were both planning on going. We were planning on getting plane ticket and flying out and hanging out at the National, man, because it's always a good time. But
it is.
I don't know now. With it being in December, that's kind of I don't know. And they're using that place as like a COVID hospital right now, and that's kind of like. I mean, it'll probably be fine at that point.
Maybe, yeah, who knows?
It'll probably be fine at that point, but I don't know.
Yeah,
it's kind of bad timing.
Yeah, I had a couple of thoughts on it. My first thought was that they're like doing it during the school year.
Yeah, that's
and
true.
I don't think they're. You know what I mean? I mean, this hobby, there's a lot of younger collectors, so they're not going to assume they wouldn't be able to go unless they, at least the first couple of days. But and then it's in the winter too, so traveling there's going to be a little bit more difficult. But,
right.
So we'll see.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too because I know a lot of the hobby shops are kind of concerned because obviously the end of December is a very big time for all retailers. So most of those shops shut down during the National because their inventory and all their people are there.
I think they should just cancel and just shoot for next year because it's a terrible time.
Yeah,
the middle of December is terrible. You got holiday travelers, you got people who are Christmas shopping and stuff. I mean, yeah, you brought up a good point with the local shops that shut down to go out there to have a booth or whatever. So
yeah, I don't
know.
It'll be interesting. It may be a moot point. You're right. I think the convention center being a makeshift hospital now. Who knows if that's going to continue.
How many people are in there though? Because I know the one that they built here at the State Fair. They built one here in Milwaukee at the State Fair, makeshift hospital. 0 patients.
I think
they rushed to build it, and there was 0 patients in there.
I could be wrong, but I thought I read somewhere that the current brick and mortar hospitals are used for COVID, and they built this for non-COVID patients.
Oh, okay.
So
sure.
if that's the case, that. I don't know. I mean, Jersey's still kind of a hotbed for the virus, so there's a lot of uncertainty. I still think that there's a lot of questions to answer around, how comfortable are people going to be being in large crowds? If you take even the travel and the weather and the timing aspect out, like I said, it might even be a moot point because, we're still not able to have those kind of large gatherings by that time of the year, but. Yeah, who knows? It is kind of a bummer, though, and I agree with you, Brian. I wish they'd can it and just make next year's even better. I'm going to be torn because the National, to me, is the event of the year for the hobby. It's always so fun. I look forward to it every year, and it's going to be tough this year. It's going to be really tough this year.
Yeah, I'm leaning towards not. I'm leaning towards just figuring that I'm not going to go.
Yeah,
but. I don't know. I mean, I'm probably leaning towards not going at this point, just because of the timing and everything,
Yeah.
So, yeah, right before Christmas too. You got to take that into
exactly.
account as far as
it's like
spending money too.
My wife and I's business is going to be busy at that point.
Yeah, I was going to say that's a booming time for you guys, right? Yeah.
Yeah. So it's probably not going to happen. It's just bad timing. So
yeah, we'll see.
Yeah.
Well, at the very least, and when next year, next year it's in Chicago again, I think.
Yep. Yeah, it'll go back to Chicago, then it'll go to Cleveland, then Chicago, then Atlantic City again. So unless they're just going to shift it and be like, okay, well, we're going to do it in Atlantic City in 2021, and then everything gets shifted down a year. I have no idea.
Yeah, I don't know how they'll do that. I think it'd be really cool to do whether they decide to just amp up next year's that much more, or maybe do one where they do like a smaller one and do two. I don't know.
Or like Jamaica.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, I don't know why the National in Miami sounds like such a bad idea. I mean,
I'm down, man.
Yeah, let's do it.
I'd be down. Yeah.
Yeah, and Sean brings up a good point in the chat. Sean's a buddy of mine that works at the local card shop here in town. It's the National would be a month after the Chicago show, and the Chicago shows are fairly big shows as well.
I've never gone to one.
It's good. It's really good, Brian. Nothing's the National, but
Yeah.
it's pretty good. They have good booths. They have a bunch of people sign. I actually went with Sean and a couple other buddies at the tail end of last year, and I really enjoyed it. It was cool. It's just a couple-day show.
Dude, Chicago's like an hour and a half from me.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should
An hour and
venture down
15
for
minutes.
sure. Yeah.
You know?
It's a good show, and it's in the Stevens Center, so it's in the same place the National's in. So,
Oh, dude.
Cool.
but just significantly less people.
Let's do it. Where's that one?
Yeah. It's in the top floor instead of the large convention center, but there's still quite a few dealers, and yeah, I mean, I had a great time going. I'd love to do that one again. That's the thing I think I miss the most in the hobby, outside of going to the shop and hanging out, is just going to the shows and being able to see inventory and do some trades and stuff like that. I mean, to me, that
Dude,
was
yeah,
like,
you're in Michigan. You got some tight rules right now.
yeah, we're pretty conservative here.
Yikes. Yeah. Well, my LCS was just able to open back up. They can only have a certain amount of people in there, and all the social distancing and this, that, and the other. But they're open, so that's cool.
The bars are open, so Wisconsin people are happy.
Yeah, oh, I'm sure.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, nothing else to do. You might as well start drinking. So. Yeah, I think we'll see after the holiday some restrictions kind of loosen up. But yeah, it's a fairly conservative state policy wise there. So we'll see. My parents are down in Florida right now, and down there it's pretty much everything's back to normal. So
Yeah.
Minus a couple of small restaurants are at 75% capacity or whatever. But the beaches are open, golf courses are open. So we're getting there.
Nationals in Miami.
Yeah, exactly. It's National in Miami. I'm telling you guys, let's
Wow.
make this happen. I mean,
You can still do it in August.
yeah, and if not
Wow.
Miami, we could go to Orlando. That way you can bring families and go to do Disney in there. I mean, there's so much. Yeah. Lots of good places to go.
Oh. Sean said there's a car show down below.
Oh yeah,
Now
So
we have to.
cards and cars.
yeah.
Woo.
Sean, what was it? It was like there was a Corvette club there, and then they had was it a classic car show? Because it wasn't like the Detroit Auto Show or anything like that.
Yeah, not an auto show. It's a car show.
Yeah. It's
That's
it's
sweet.
neat. I kind of, to be honest, when we were there, I kind of wanted to poke my head in there and be like, "What's going on down there?"
Let's see. NFL starts on time. Will the cards skyrocket? What's your opinion?
More so than now.
God, I
We're
hope they go down. Can they skyrocket anymore?
Jeez.
Well, look at basketball. It could be worse.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, right when I start getting interested in basketball, then Zion happens.
Oh yeah.
$1,000 a box.
Yeah. Oh, for hoops.
Yeah, I know, right?
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. I think it's going to be like any other year. I think if Drew Lock does good, his cards are going to go up. If Dwayne Haskins starts doing good, his cards are going to go up. But I don't really know if
You didn't mention Kyler Murray.
That's because his stuff's already up, Bob.
Going
He's going to take another level.
I think if it starts on time, everything's going to go back to normal, So maybe.
I don't foresee a trend where the card market decreases significantly. It might.
I don't think it's going to happen I think it's going to happen, but it's going to take like 5 years or something where it's going to start dropping.
Yeah, not indefinite. Yeah, eventually, some folks will leave. But here's the thing: like, anytime I read on social media or whatever about people being upset about the prices of things or whatever, I mean, these are all rehashed conversations that happen every couple of months. So, it's always expensive. You always can't find product. Everything's, it is what it is. So once again, I think it kind of boils back to the original part of the conversation, which is if you set and stick with your budget, then you're getting upset over nothing. Okay, so Flawless is not within your budget. That's okay. There's plenty of other great sets to chase. So
here's the thing though, because it's like the cards are more expensive than they ever have been. Sets are more expensive than they ever have been. Like Prism's more expensive. Select's more expensive. Everything's more expensive, but like a silver field level Drew Lock from Select, $170. So I think that the cards are more expensive to buy a box or to buy packs, but the cards
values are higher.
More. Yeah, they're people are paying more for them on the secondary market. So
I wonder if a lot of that has to do with
give take.
Yeah, I think a lot of that has to do too with there's a lot of new people into the hobby looking for investments and looking to turn and flip, which I know some people don't like. I personally love it. Anything that brings more people to the hobby, I'm all for. But yeah, people are looking at rookies and the big time sets and looking at grading and figuring out, all right, is this a worthwhile investment to get 10 Drew Lock silvers from Select, try to get them graded and see where they're at next year if he does pan out.
Yeah, a lot of the Select and Prism rookies, at least the ones that I have lines on the back of them from manufacturing.
Yeah,
tough to get a really nicely graded one. I think kind of stinks, but what are you gonna do?
Yes.
If you have a low budget, you can always get a break with Mikey B. He's got the lowest prices around.
Thanks, Bobby. That was unsolicited. Your check might be a day late. I hear USPS is having trouble delivering. So,
maybe late. I take that back. Hold on.
Hey, you could be like Bobby and one spot of basketball break and hit Zion, and life is good.
Yeah, man, it was like $20-some bucks. It was crazy. It was fun. Oh, for real. I mean, if you want to, if you're a gambler, that's where I'd put my money if my budget was tight. Get a cheap team and a break and roll the dice a little bit.
Yeah, and have some. It's funny, like a lot of my friends that aren't familiar with the hobby at all, and they're asking about the business, and they're like, how's this been affected? And I was like, breaking business is through the roof. I was like, there's no alternative of things to do. The business was pretty good before, but now there's no new sports. You can't gamble. The casinos are closed. The hobby is really strong. There's a great rookie class in multiple sports. It's brought a lot of people into it, and breaking, it does. It makes sense sometimes to spend $50 or $60 on a team versus $300 on a box and roll the dice. But
dude, it's been fun watching everybody open up like older products too.
Yeah, that's been cool.
That's been products lately, and man, that's been fun.
I've really enjoyed watching the folks chase Jordan cards because of the Last Dance documentary. So. I mean, to me, that was childhood stuff there. Old Flair and Topps Finest and Hoops. I mean, all these sets that we used to go to the corner store and buy for $0.25 a pack.
Yep. Brian, how much you want to bet either Danny or Nick had some of those crazy expensive Jordan cards?
Yep.
Just laying around.
Guarantee it.
Yep, I know.
Guarantee it, dude.
I
don't remember the first... I remember Danny having all of those, like 89 Pro set, 91, 90 and 91 Pro set, and all those sets.
Yeah.
But I remember actually like getting into liking cards when it was like, I want to say like 93, 94 Fleer basketball, or 94, 95 Fleer basketball. I don't remember one of those 2 years, but I remember looking at. I thought they were really cool. They had different color foil on them. I was a color nerd, so I liked the different colors, the different color foil. But yeah, dude, I bet you they had some of those nice Jordans laying around for sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, Bobby, I know you started kind of with some basketball stuff. Brian, you dabble in any basketball products at all? Is that not your thing?
You know, I the other day when I was at the LCS, I opened up a few packs of Giannis rookie year stuff.
Ooh, nice.
I didn't hit a Giannis, but it was fun to try.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sure. Why not? Right. I think I recall.
Sure.
Didn't we have like during one of our rip sessions at the National last year? In the blowout box or something like that? And didn't we hit a Giannis? Or it was Leonard?
No, we hit Kawhi.
Kawhi, yeah.
Because he let me open one. That was titanium,
Kawhi.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, titanium. The second year Kawhi on this. Cool.
That was cool.
Dude, that night was awesome.
Yeah.
That night.
Baker from Contenders.
The Baker. I remember we were putting together that insert set from what was it? Certified. Because certified boxes were dirt cheap.
Yep.
And then, I mean, I don't even know how late we stayed up ripping stuff, and then everyone kind of got tired, and then I go to the room, and there's like 500 silver packs, and I'm like, yeah, what's a couple of these, right? And then like 2 in the morning, hitting that LeBron 101 and like wanting to scream and not wake everybody up. It was like...
I remember, waking up, and you said you opened all of them.
Yeah, I have no willpower. Yeah, it's bad.
I probably won't do baseball, man. I'm not a baseball guy. Like I had a few packs of baseball in my Buck City Breaker box, and it just doesn't excite me, man. You know, I'll go to. I'm like 20 minutes away from the Brewers Stadium. I'll go to a game here and there, but baseball's not my thing. So
it's such a different style of collecting. I mean, obviously there's products where you can still get like the big players now, but with baseball, I mean, we were opening first edition 2020 Bowman yesterday, and it was like, you know, these kids are 17. You know, they might be 4 or 5 years before they even see the bigs.
Dude,
so
I can't wait that long, man.
No, I can't either. I'm like, that's why I like football, I think, so much, because I'm like, all right, is this guy going to perform Sunday? Because if not, then I can dump it.
So what do people do with those prospect cards?
Bobby, a lot of them grade and sit on them, you know, and they just, you know, you're in for whatever price, the packs, breaks, or box, whatever it is. You know, you go to PSA, you grade it for $9 to $10, $11 a card. You know, you get it back in a while, but what's that matter? 6 months waiting for grading is nothing if the guy's not going to be in the bigs for 3 years. And then if they hit, you know, your card that you've invested $20 in could reach thousands. It's crazy, especially like first Bowman's. It's insane. But I'm with you, Brian. It's very hard for me to hold something that long. And
I mean, I'm not saying never. Maybe when I get older, when I start liking golf and stuff, maybe I want to collect baseball cards and sit on them. But
I like golf. Come on, man. Oh, now I'm old. All right. I see how it is. Shots fired. We'll figure out how to edit that out later.
Yeah, right. All right. I got a question.
All right, shoot.
Guys who go into Walmarts and Targets and buy up all the retail stuff. What do you think?
Me first or Bobby?
Oh, it's you, Mikey.
Oh, me? Well, I've been both. I've been the guy to buy some and leave some, and then later I've been the guy to buy all. I don't know. Here's before I answer, let me preface it with this. I don't care if somebody does it. Like these people that get I'm not someone who's going to get angry at someone if they decide to do that. It's a supply and demand market, and if you're lucky enough to get the supply and you want to sell it, that's great. I'm not really big on people saying like, I was going to buy this, like using their kids as a crutch to complain about that too. Like, I was going to break this with my kid. I'm like, or were you going to sell it because it's 4 times the value? Yeah, to me, like it's crazy the amount of people going out trying to get Mosaic right now. I'm still like I'm not really ready to be in 10 Walmarts right now, but to each their own. So I don't care if someone buys all the product. I think those people are fine. I don't like the people that go pack search or anything like that. That I think is despicable. But I don't get worked up over that kind of stuff. If I can't get it, I can't get it. If I'm lucky enough to get it, I'll grab it all and I'll try to rip some myself. Many times, I remember when Prism came out, basketball, and Josh, Sean, and I, three guys here in town, we were all trying to find it, and then we would like sell it to each other, just so we kind of formed a little group trying to get it. So, and it doesn't bother me as much. I just try not to get worked up over that. So, all right, that's my answer. What do you guys think? You could be like, these people are the devil.
I don't go that far. It's frustrating for me. I'm just trying to find some to rip open for a video, and I just can't do it because first person there is snagging it or it's going out the back door.
Yeah.
That's my first thought. Like they're getting in with
the reps.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So.
Yeah, at least get the product on the shelf, then everyone has a fighting chance.
Yeah, like my Walmart doesn't even have the cardboard isn't even there for it, so I don't even know if it ever made it to the shelf.
Probably someone took the whole tray and just took that to the checkout. That shouldn't have to work. What about you, Brian? I mean, you're a guy who buys a lot of different product for your videos, and I know it's not all hobby. There's a lot of retail there too. Is it accessible where you are, or is it just like, no? So it's like that everywhere, right?
Yeah. Wherever. Anytime I go, like a few times I went to look for something for you, Bobby. What did I look for? Mosaic or Prism?
Yep, I had you check for Mosaic. Yep.
Yeah, nothing. I can't find it. It's like it's going out the back door or something. Maybe I'm not really sure, but I understand when there's a full display case and you buy it all to make some money. What is really irritating though is that the mega boxes are $55 or something at Walmart, and they're going for almost 4 times that.
Yep.
It's supply and demand. It's
yeah.
I don't really like the fact that happens, but I'm one of the people who won't buy any from anybody. Like if people go in and buy all the Prism football and are trying to sell it for $20 more or something, I'm not going to buy any of it from them, Yeah. So I don't know. I don't like it, but I understand. I understand why people do it, but I don't like it. So
yeah, I get it. I mean, it's a similar, and maybe it's not exactly similar, but you could look too like when you go to the card shows and people have these big dollar bins, card stuff that they probably haven't looked at in years, and you find a card that's like, oh, this is a $30 card, and it's just stuck in this dollar bin. And if you're first to the show, you can pick through it all, right? So, like I said, I just my overall kind of outlook on this kind of stuff is just that there's just so many other much bigger things to concern ourselves with, and to you really be concerned with. So I try not to get too upset with the cardboard world. It's a hobby, and if people work a deal or if people take it all, good on them, I guess. I wish it wasn't like that. But like I said, I've also been on the same side. When Prism first came out and I would find a display, I'd get it, and I used it for my business. So, I did not feel bad about it at all.
If the first person doesn't do it, the second person or the third person's going to do it. Yeah. So it's kind of whatever, but the things that really, really get under my skin are the posts that I see of people with, hey, I cleaned out 5 Walmarts, and it's like, dude, really? Holy crap, man. It's like, really, man? All right.
I mean, yeah, if
I just had time to do that.
Yeah. Like I said, I don't like right now, I know things are kind of in the lull with COVID, but I'm like, I don't want to be in 10 any places that are big stores. I don't care how cool the product is. So, sometimes because, as a breaker, we need to have new product because people want to rip it. So I'll buy secondary if I have to. I think Mosaic is an interesting example because people are asking Prism basketball prices for Mosaic, and long term, that's not going to have the same value at all. So, if someone's out there buying it, so that's the reason people keep doing it. So, but what's great is that we have people within our crew, and I'm sure other breakers are similar, where they have people that they'll be lucky enough to find them, and they'll send me a message. It's like, hey, Mikey, are you interested? I would sell it to you at my cost if you cover shipping and 10 or 15% or something like that, which is way under market. And I'll be like, yeah, that'd be awesome. Then we could rip it as a group. That'd be great. I don't rip that stuff for myself. That I always turn into breaks. But sometimes it doesn't happen. And if we can't find any retail, we just don't rip that. We break something else. There's plenty of other cool stuff to break right now.
Lots of options on MikeyBcards.com.
I swear, You're killing me, Smalls. You're killing me. What I'm reading some of the chat here. Brody asks, "What are your guys' thoughts on pack searchers?" Yeah, I think that's pretty despicable.
No bueno.
Yeah.
No bueno.
I mean, don't do that.
I wouldn't like confront. Now, see, I'm not as ripped as these two, so I'm not like confronting somebody or whatever. But
Me too.
I'd probably make some sort of smart ass comment. I'm sure.
What are you doing?
Get out of here! Do it
Are
now!
you filling up that pack?
Yeah. So those I don't like those folks at all. So all right. So tell me about. So there's a lot of cool upcoming product, right? That's coming out. Some remaining collegiate stuff. We got some new football stuff coming out, like Score. So the first time we'll see some, pro uni stuff. I know.
Larry Fitzgerald autographs in Score this year.
Oh, there's
What?
Fitz. Ooh, that'll
No
be
way.
sweet.
Yep.
Nice.
So do you guys have a
Yeah,
product
I'm
that's coming out in the next couple months that you're like really excited
I'm
for?
gonna be hammering. I'm gonna be hammering the Cardinals and breaks. It should be cheaper than they have been.
Yes,
That's
they should.
awesome. And the Packers are going to be way more expensive.
Yep.
Sure are. Enjoy. I had to do it the last 2 years.
I was telling my buddy PJ, I was like, hey, I hope you're excited, or I hope you're happy because this is the last time you're going to be able to buy the Bengals for like $19 in a full case break.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Jeez. Yeah, the Bengals are going to be crazy.
All right, so Bobby's interested, looking forward to Score because of the fits. Brian, anything for you? I
honestly haven't even gauged out what is coming up because everything kind of got put on hold. And then once Chronicles was coming out, I'm like, cool, Chronicles is coming out. And I think the next product after that is Contenders Draft and then Score.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah.
So that's as far as I got. I'm usually not super excited about Contenders Draft or Score, but Score is cool because it brings a lot of new collectors in. You can always find it in retail establishments, and Score a lot of times is that product where it's like, man, I used to rip Score back in the 90s, and that was fun. And then boom, back in the hobby. Hook, line, and sinker.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm a little different. I like Contenders Draft picks. I would have liked it, 45 days ago, but now we're getting close to when the season would be starting. So I think that's like one of the last cool collegiate products.
You know what? I have to take that back. I like Contenders Draft. Contenders Draft has been very good to me the last few years, so I can't even say I don't like it.
Well, and your guy, Jonathan Taylor, headed to my Colts, so that should be pretty exciting.
Oh, that's right.
I know.
Yeah, so we have a mutual guy we can chase there. But yeah, I Contenders Draft, you get a preview of what Contenders will look like. There's usually some good auto stuff in there. Yeah, there you go. And then did you guys see? I literally just got from distribution. I think last week they're doing Chronicles for Collegiate this year, and I think that's going to be really cool.
Chronicles Collegiate?
Chronicles Collegiate is coming out. I don't know when. I think like mid-July, something like that. I don't know. But that should be interesting. That should be really interesting. But they had sets like Spectra and other things in there.
Oh, that's right. They were making all those weird sets in collegiate.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes I think that's cool. That's cool for the people who collect college uniform stuff. Yep. So I was going to say money grab by Panini, but on the other hand, if I'm just a college collector, say I only collect Wisconsin players, the more collegiate product, the better then.
Totally,
you know?
totally.
So I get it.
Yeah, for me, it's great because it's like the only chance I can get Iowa guys because most of those guys either don't make a roster or never end up playing. So, hey, look, I'm knocking my own team right now, Bobby. But so, it's if that's your cup of tea, you know, I think there will be a couple new collegiate products this year that should be really interesting. And then, you know, the first wave of I don't know about you guys, Luminance is okay. Majestic. I always get excited for Origins because on-card autographs of the rookie class in their jerseys.
Super clean too. Origins is like super clean. I love the way the Origins on-card autos are.
Yeah, they do a good job with that. So that's.
I don't know why. I don't know why those don't get more love. I don't know.
I think it's because some double zeros. You get some double zeros, but.
Still.
This year, why would they have double zeros this year? I mean, we have all this extra time.
I thought I saw they showed a preview. Panini tweeted out a preview of CD Lamb, and he was in his number.
Yep, he's got his number, 88. Yep.
So
that should be
hopefully
exciting.
there will be a very few double zeros.
Yeah, hopefully that'd be great. Bobby, any basketball stuff you're looking forward to at all? Obviously, we got some of the pricier sets coming out here soon.
Yeah, I'm not going to be going anywhere near that. To be totally honest with you, I'm having more fun like buying Giannis rookie year stuff than it's really not. I guess it's not that crazy expensive as you think it would be to buy some of his cheaper stuff.
No, if you stay away from Prism, then it's not bad.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Like hoops and some of the cheaper stuff is fun to rip open, and his rookie cards are crazy.
So they're only going to go up.
Yeah.
Giannis will be a top 10 all-time player by the end of his career, I believe.
He could be. I mean, the guy's a beast. His stuff is already hit pretty strong, but I think there's continued growth opportunity there. I look at it a lot like where LeBron was, mid last year. I think when I bought his Topps Chrome rookie, I think it was like 800 or 900 graded, and it's like 25 now. So Giannis is way over that already. I think his is around 1200 graded, but I mean that's a card that could easily spike over 2, maybe even 3. I mean, when they come back, if he wins a championship, I mean that card's going through the roof.
Yeah.
So
that'll be huge.
Yeah.
Yep.
So yeah, I still see him as being a good guy to invest in. He's a tremendous player, good guy too. He looks seems like. Yeah, Carl, I'd add Luka to that too. I mean, Luka's cards are already pretty pricey, but
better than Jordan. Yeah, Brody. I didn't say he was going to be better than Jordan.
No.
I just said top 10.
No.
Top 10 all time. Jordan's like on the top of the list.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Have you guys been watching The Last Dance? Have you enjoyed that?
I haven't seen any of it, to be honest.
I haven't.
I will. Once it comes out, I'll watch it all.
Yeah.
I don't sit down and watch a lot of TV. I can't sit still mostly.
Yeah.
This is like a special occasion.
Oh.
For you.
What the camera isn't showing is if it panned down, Bobby's strapped to the chair. He physically can't move, like he's handcuffed to the chair.
I'm doing like calf raises right now.
He's doing curls as he sits.
I don't know if you heard. I was doing so many. Andrew wants to know. He's asked a couple times in the chat. Bobby, do you trade any of the cards that you get in your video? Brian, I know you do some that aren't PC hits.
Trading's tough, right? It just takes so long to do it. It's so much easier for me to just throw it up for sale if I'm planning on getting rid of it and then buying it, purchasing something I want. Because trading takes a long time, so usually not.
Agreed.
If somebody sent me like a picture and they're like, "Hey, would you trade this for that? For the thing that you hit?" And it's fair, then I might do it. But that'd be the only thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's tough too because obviously I'm sure a lot of people that reach out to you guys you don't know, you've never spoken to, and you know, and of course they always want like a big card, and you know, yeah. How frequently do you guys update your your eBay stores and stuff like that? Do you try to put stuff on frequently, or? Good, you're like me. I have 2 cards on there right now. I think maybe.
I have 0 on there right now.
All right.
I'd probably have like 20. I don't know. If it's like a new product, like I'm going to be putting that Stidham auto I hit yesterday, I'll throw that up on there right away. Otherwise, yeah, not very often.
I have a stack of stuff that I've been meaning to put on eBay for the last 6 days, and I haven't had time.
Wow. Yeah.
So that's kind of where I'm at. Like that's the same thing with like people DMing me and stuff. I try to get to a few, but there's like a lot, and I can't get to.
I can't fathom how many messages you guys get. I mean, I'd love to sit here. I'd love to humble brag how many I have, but it's got to be microscopic compared to like how much stuff you guys get. I mean, you guys get pinged like an email or like anytime there's a comment on your videos. I mean, that's got to be like.
God, I turned that off years ago.
Yeah. Get a couple thousand emails a day.
That'd be bad. Yeah.
You know, I'll check it for like the first 10 minutes after I post it up and just comment to a couple people, like respond to it. Otherwise, then I just leave it.
Yeah.
Life is hectic.
Oh yeah.
You know, lots of stuff going on. So, I try to be as available as I can be, but that's not very available because my number one responsibility is to the family. So
yeah, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
So Lori's asking. Lori's a big member of our break crew. She's asking about advice for starting on eBay. So do you guys have any tips and tricks?
Dude, okay. So starting on eBay, here's what I would do personally. I would buy stuff. I would start by buying stuff on eBay and gaining some feedback. So, because honestly, I'll tell you what, I've been burned so many times on eBay by people with 0 feedback or 1 or 2 feedback, not paying for stuff that I've basically, if it's a person with 0 feedback, nearing the end of an auction, I've done this before. I have canceled their bid and blocked them because I knew they weren't going to pay. So if you're serious about getting on eBay, I would buy some stuff first, gain up some feedback, 10 or 15 or 20 feedback or something like that, and then you can probably start selling. And if all your feedback's positive, obviously, which it should be.
That's really good advice. And Lori, I would say one of the same thing for selling is that if you're selling some bigger cards and buyers are looking and you've got like 3 feedback or nothing, 3 feedback is almost worse, probably worse than if you had like 150 and 2 or 3 of them were negative. Like having that is kind of like it's like your reputation on the bay, right? It's like, all right, here's someone who has done deals. They're, I know they're going to pay, or I know they're going to send me my card or whatever. That's a really, really good start. We mentioned in the last Hobby Talk, someone, when we were talking about, I think grading or posting pictures and something like that, my friend Tim mentioned that buying a light box, which you can get on Amazon for like $20, is a great way to take pictures of your cards. You want to have good pictures, front and back, a picture of if it's numbered. I like to get in and do a close-up of that. But I think if you take a little extra time to with your posts, that will certainly help. And Bobby, anything from you?
I agree. The only other thing I'd say is if there's any type of damage to the card, no matter how minor it is, make sure you
disclose
put that somewhere in your description or take close-up pictures because people are very, very picky about that kind of stuff. So.
It's better to disclose it than just hope they don't notice, because they'll notice.
We had like 2 returns ever, and so I feel pretty lucky with that. But
the only other advice I can give is that if you're going to do like a buy it now, is check sold comps and take a look at like what cards are going for. I always tell people it's better to dictate the market than have the market dictate you. So, if cards are brand spanking new like Chronicles and you've got a big autograph or whatever, and there's 2 up there for $500 and you want to flip a card, maybe put yours up for like $425 or best offer or something like that. But, take a look at what other cards are selling for and take a look at what sold comps are, because if, 15 cards have sold in the last month at $15 and your price is $50, probably not going to move it. So, The last piece of advice would be avoid eBay like the plague, because what you pay in fees and everything is just going to take away all the fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been thinking about making like a Facebook group or something where I can sell stuff that I pull, you know? I don't know. I've been toying with that idea for a while because...
Brian, you should get a Shopify site. It's super easy to... That's what I use for my website. It's super easy to set up. Payments run through it really easily. And, for someone like you who has a lot of exposure, the hard thing for, I think, a lot of people that are new into the hobby doing web stuff is, getting people in or whatever. That wouldn't be a problem for you. But, start up like a PackerCard87.com and just, hey, every couple of weeks, I throw it up there. You take the fees out, you can... Yeah.
It's something, man. But... like a lot of other things, I have a car in my garage that has not been touched for about a year. That I don't know if I'm going to be able to finish the thing, so I might have to just scrap the idea at the moment.
Yeah.
Just there's a lot of things going on. So, yeah.
Plus, you got to get them gains.
You got to get them gains.
There's only so much time.
It's gains o'clock.
I need an hour and a half to 2 hours in the gym, 5 days a week. So there's that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean it's funny. People ask like how's being a breaker? It's got to be so awesome. And I think people see the 8 hours you stream or whatever, and they're like, "Man, that's so cool. Your life is amazing." And then I'm like, what you don't see is these 65 hours a week where I'm doing everything behind the scenes, sorting, getting the website, buying, distribution. Exactly. So when you start a stream at 5 and you're ending at 2 in the morning or whatever, and trying to squeeze in family time and stuff like that too. It's just all balance. So, which that I think we took a left turn there, but I do think the idea of you having a site, if you were going to sell stuff, Brian, would be like, that would kill. Yeah.
What were we talking about before that? Oh, we were talking about eBay.
eBay. Okay. Yeah, just in general, eBay. Josh asked about the Project 2020 cards. Have you guys followed that at all? What Topps is doing with baseball?
Baseball? Is that with the stick thing?
What?
Like that?
Josh, I might be the only one who knows about it. I think it's interesting. I think it's cool, and it's created excitement. So anything that does that in the hobby is good by me. I own one card. I own a Griffey. But basically what they're doing, guys, is they're having some artists recreate iconic baseball cards, and some of them are interesting. And then Topps basically puts it on their website. They sell it for a couple hours. However many sell, that's how many are produced. And some of them have taken off very well. To be honest, I think it's a cool idea. I think if Panini did something similar, it would be, and Panini usually copies Topps, so it would be interesting if they did something like that for football. Because I could see buying a Barry Sanders '89 score, but it's an artist rendition of it or something like that. It'd be kind of dope.
Yeah.
So realistically, the least amount that sell would be more valuable, right? And if it's sold less of them, because then there'd be less of them.
I mean, you'd think so, but I mean, there's a lot of some of the Trouts that have been done. Yeah. Have sold 17,000 copies at, I don't know, $20-$30, and they're selling in the market now for $400 or $500. It's
wow.
Yeah, I mean the returns of these cards have been insane considering. Now, once again, I haven't bought any from the website, so I don't know how easy it is to navigate and get them. But from what I hear, it's not difficult. So,
Mama there asked, "How do you guys get feedback on eBay?"
Good question.
That would be when you complete a purchase. So, say I buy this card from somebody, and I pay right away. Say I win the auction, I pay right away. It is on the seller to leave you feedback, such as buyer paid immediately, A+ eBayer, or something like that. Something to that effect. And then you would have one feedback.
Yep.
And then when you receive the card, then you leave the seller feedback. Ship. Good seller, whatever you leave as your feedback. But that's kind of how you just gain feedback. The seller or whoever sold you the card, if you are the buyer, or whoever bought the card, if you are the seller, leaves you feedback. So Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Sorry, guys. I'm answering a question in the chat here. Yeah, I agree. Lori, just if you purchase a couple small things. I have people from eBay like actually reach out and say, "Can you give me feedback?" I kind of batch mine and do it at the end of the month when I have time. But yeah, it's not too difficult, and that's kind of how I started. I bought a couple smaller dollar cards, nothing too crazy, and kind of built it up. And then I had a stretch there where I was selling a lot of stuff. So I don't know what my feedback's up to or whatever. But it's a decent amount, and now I feel like I can sell whatever on there. But there's pitfalls to eBay. I'm sure if you talk to enough people, they'll tell you. But when it comes to getting a large audience to sell your cards, it's the best. So you have to put up with one for the other, I guess.
Yeah. And then you get hit with that giant
bill at the end.
It's got that. It's like, ooh, PayPal notification. We got money. No.
Nope.
$212 to eBay.
Yeah.
No.
It's brutal.
Good.
It is brutal. Kevin and Brody want to know, what do you guys think about the idea of potentially Topps getting back into football?
Oh, dude, that would be awesome.
Please, somebody.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Topps Chrome. Let's
Topps Chrome. Oh god, that'd be insane. I'd love that if that came out.
PackerCards. You can start your own card company.
PC.
Hey, we need some competition.
Hey, if Sage can do it, Brian, you can do it, right?
Right. Unlicensed football cards.
There you go.
Yes.
Well, I think they tried to get back, right? Because didn't they produce not the XFL, but the other one, AFL or something?
They did do the XFL.
Oh, that was the XFL's their set.
And they did the AAFL.
Yeah, AAF or whatever.
AAF.
Yeah.
Whatever.
American Alliance of Football. Or
so really, it's Topps entering the market with those products that killed those companies. So maybe they shouldn't.
I mean, there's some kind of correlation.
Yeah. As soon as those cases hit, the leagues fold and like. Wah, wah, wah. So here's an interesting question. So a lot of people probably watching this after the fact or in the chat right now probably look to you guys as two of the greatest content creators on YouTube. Are there any people? No, come on, be humble. Are there any people that or things that you like to watch on YouTube? People that create similar content like Paco. I'm not talking breakers. I'm just talking like, is there anything that when you have a couple of minutes, do you ever pull up YouTube and check anything out or whatever?
Dude, I'll be honest, man. I watch more health-related content, health and lifting-related content. I have been on a kick of barbell medicine, which is these doctors that run this YouTube channel. Well, they run like a website and they do like programming for weightlifting and all that stuff. They're power lifters, and they have a really, really good insight about the health benefits, and they go into meta-analyses and studies about this, that, and the other, and pain and all this other stuff that goes on inside your body that is really interesting to me. So I've been on a kick of that lately. Yeah. So
Robert Frank, right?
Love that guy.
Ever since you showed me that, Bobby, I've been watching him like every couple of days. I'll pull a video of it, like one of his rants, and I just instantly crack up.
Him and Bro Science Life too is kind of a similar type thing. That's good stuff.
Yeah.
I like as far as like card related stuff. The only one I actually watch aside from Brian, obviously, all tune to that. Occasionally.
You guys comment on each other's videos and be like, dude, that was dumb.
Yeah.
Terrible video.
Gavin JD Sportswear. I like
JD's he does a good job.
It's like the way he's really professional with his video skills and everything as far as his editing and whatnot. So I always check him out too.
Cool.
I talked to him a couple of months ago because I was asking him. I was like, what do you do for lighting? His lighting setup is so amazing. Like his videos just look very professionally well done. He does a great job. Yeah. Have you guys watched
my videos at all?
Was that?
I don't edit my videos.
No. But that's what we love about them, Brian. They're so like, I mean, that you know what you're getting, and I don't mean this as a this is not a slight. It's basic and it's straightforward and it's genuine, and I think that's what people love. Don't ever change that, man. That's what people love about your channel.
That's just what I'm gonna keep doing, man.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
I tried doing the intro for a little bit, a very poorly made intro at that.
I remember that.
But after a while, it's like, man, this is stupid. I don't feel like adding this in the beginning before every video. This is taking too long.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I stopped doing that. So.
Mike wants to know if there was ever a player that you guys invested heavily in and then became busts. I was like, I got a bunch.
Oh man,
I'm not proud of many of them. Trevor Davis, yes.
Yeah.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord, Brian.
Yeah, you got it worse than me. I'm still like trying to get rid of my Rosen stuff though.
Oh, Rosen, yeah.
Yeah, David Johnson too. Now that he's kind of on the fence, we'll see what happens with him. But
we got some cool stuff, at least, Brian.
Yeah, I feel bad for you. You went hard on him.
Trevor Davis.
Ooh.
Yeah, the guy can run fast. He's gonna be good.
Yeah, how's that work for every Oakland receiver ever?
Yeah, well, no, he was all right for a while. I think he just got hurt.
Yeah.
He was a decent punt returner, but it just didn't work out. Hey, Trevor Davis.
Championship ticket. There you go. Probably get it cheap.
Oh yeah,
$100.
Hey, Andrew said Easton Stick. What? But Easton Stick. How do you not know that Herbert's not going to be a bust
Yeah.
and Stick is going to come take his job?
Yeah.
Nobody knows. You guys don't know that. So
Or I mean, Herbert could get hurt. I mean, look at you guys remember C.J. Beathard, right? Garoppolo goes over to San Francisco, gets hurt. Beathard comes in for a couple games, lights it up, and he skyrocketed. And now I couldn't even tell you if he's in the league.
Nick Mullins,
exactly, same thing. Yeah.
Yep. So.
Yeah, some of those guys, when they get their opportunity and they do well and the cards spike, that's when it's like mass dump. It's like get rid of them all.
So, I wouldn't go say Easton Stick is a bust or worth. I don't know. I mean, at this point, it's not looking good, but you never know what's going to happen. So.
Yeah, exactly.
That Mahomes guy, I heard he's not very good.
Yeah, he sat for a while.
So,
or how about that current quarterback up there in Green Bay? I heard he had to sit for a little while. So yeah.
So.
Tim Boogie or whatever that guy's name is.
Are you guys are you going to be picking up any Julian Love in the next in this class? No.
Here's how I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna keep everything that I pulled of Julian Love. And I'm going to keep everything that I get in breaks with the Packers of him. I probably will be minimal about going and buying stuff of him just because this flawless project that I'm taking on right now is going to be so crazy. It's going to take a long time. It's going to be lots of money, lots of time invested. And yeah, so, but it's exciting. That's the thing though.
That flawless thing will be neat though when it's finished.
Yeah, and it's got me back fired up about collecting stuff because you go for a while collecting a player or collecting a team, and it's just like after a while it's kind of like, okay, yeah, I got another card of this guy, and that's kind of what it started getting to be like with Jordy. I mean, I love collecting Jordy. I like all the new. I'm glad that he was in NT and flawless. It was awesome to collect that stuff, but I needed something new, something else, and it's got me fired up again, so it's cool.
Yeah, it'll be fun. And I felt similar passion when I was chasing Dalvin Cook's Prism Rainbow in 2018. It's like you almost need something like to kind of like, I think actually I took it from one of your videos, Brian, around like the power of like building a rainbow and chasing something like that. Yeah, little
Big
man
Gannon.
appearance.
Hey, Gannon.
Say hello to the millions that will be watching this later.
Yeah, there's like
Oh, man.
watching that 1 billion people.
Or billions.
A billion.
So, one more topic, guys. I appreciate all your time tonight. It's been great talking with you. I'm sure people that are going to be watching this, whether it's live or down the road, would love to know YouTube tips and tricks. I mean, like I said, you guys have two of the top channels, whether it's via subs or just content in general. I know I get a lot of questions. I'm sure you guys get bombarded with questions. Give me a sense. Someone comes to you and says, listen, maybe I'm new in the hobby or I've been in the hobby for a little while. I want to get started on YouTube. I want to produce content or whatever. What are some of the things, the lessons learned?
First thing I tell people is to get your lighting situated. Make sure that your lighting is situated. You can get something that you can move to where you want it. Test it out. Test out your lighting, how it's going to look while you're making a video. Mm-hmm. Cell phones nowadays have really, really good cameras. If you have a newer cell phone, you can just make videos with your phone. That's what I do. And you can have really nice, crisp, clean videos if you got the right lighting. Mm-hmm. Don't worry about subscribers right away. Subscribers will come if you make good content. So just keep putting out content and have a passion for what you're doing. And eventually you'll get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
So it's kind of...
Yeah, I'd say if you enjoy what you're doing and enjoy what you're opening, it's gonna show in your videos. Like Brian with your Throwback Thursday stuff, you can tell you're enjoying opening like the older products, and that's
I love Throwback Thursday. This last one was so cool. This double refractor that I got, this Deion Sanders Champ Bailey double refractor, like these cards were either refractor on one side or refractor on the other side, or if they're a double refractor, is 1 in 150 packs.
Oh, that's cool.
So that's a 1 in 150 pack card, dude. That's so cool, man.
You know,
I think that's a great point you made, Bobby. And one thing I would encourage new people too is that so many people when they're starting out, I see this a lot with new breakers too, is that it is painful to watch them. They're very dry. Don't get excited. I mean, there's that video going around about the kid pulling the Zion. You guys seen that?
Oh, yeah.
Pulls like a 40,000 Zion, just breezing like, "What's up, Mario?" right after that, which is hilarious. But
yeah, you gotta see that, Brian. You gotta see that.
So
I haven't seen it.
It's pretty funny. I think injecting your enthusiasm, and I think one of the things that are a hallmark, whether you're making videos or you're trying to break or whatever, is that if you can't make things be exciting or sound exciting, it's tough to watch. And I don't know, Brian, I've watched almost all of your videos the last couple of years, and I don't know if I can name one time where you were opening something that, even if the packs weren't good or it didn't go your way or whatever, there was never a time where you were like negative. You always found something positive to say. You always were excited to open. Doesn't matter what you had, but it was always interesting. I think that's what's so great about your videos is that, can you make stuff that when it doesn't go your way or stuff that, kind of stinks or whatever, it's like, all right. Can I make Gypsy Queen exciting? I don't know.
It surely doesn't go your way all the time.
Yes.
It's not going to go your way all the time. I had a hot streak there for a little bit at the beginning of this year. I was pulling Kylers and Daniel Jones, and
that was crazy.
I was on a heater. I was on a heater to the point where I think I saw a couple of comments that were like, "Dude, you pack search or something." I don't remember what the comments were. Something.
Panini sends Brian all the good boxes.
Yeah, you're in cahoots with your LCS or something. And I'm like, no, dude, like, I'm just on a heater, man. It's gonna cool off. Trust me, and it did. So
yeah.
But
so great advice there, guys. You don't have to spend a ton of money to make it look professional. Even like if I was doing a video, I'd probably take the shade off of that lamp and bring it over here and so forth. There's easy things that you can do for lighting and effects. You're right. A new iPhone or any kind of newer phone takes great video. I would say too, when you're first starting out, is is just watch your content length. You know, if you're doing like a review video, you know, your aim, YouTube says the algorithm aim is around just over 10 minutes. So if you're doing a one box, you know, review video and it's like 35 minutes long, well, yeah, you might want to cut a little content. So, and then I think the best advice that I've heard from others too is just, you know, you gotta get it out there. You gotta continue to produce content. Doesn't matter if only 15 people look at it. Keep producing content and get stuff out there, and people will discover you.
Exactly, dude. When I started, I did not think like to 1,000 people, 1,000 subscribers was beyond my wildest imagination. And once it was 1,000, like 5,000 was never going to happen, and then 7,000 was never going to happen, and so on and so forth. And at this point, I am going
1 million.
1 million. You're going to be the Ryan's Toy Review of the card world, Brian.
No, dude,
8 million subscribers.
Hey,
What are you guys up to nowadays on YouTube? Are you guys, Brian? You were like at 60K or more now, or?
I don't know. I don't think so. I'm not really sure. It's like 50 something, I think.
That's still pretty amazing. That's amazing. So,
dude, Jimmy, thank you. Can we talk about my hernia surgery, please, so I can get some sympathy from people?
Bring it on. And then, do you want me to write your P.O. box number on there too? So please send me sympathy cards to open while I recover.
Please send get well cards.
Literally, not Hallmark either. We're talking.
I can't lift weights for 4 weeks. Ouch.
So your surgery's Monday, though, right?
My surgery's Monday. I have 2 hernias that I need repaired. Stinks. I can't lift weights for 4 weeks.
Looking smaller already. Looking small already.
Bobby, I think the window's open. The window's open.
Oh yeah, I got a light. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, let's see that.
So Andrew's writing in the chat about sending you cards. I was joking about that, by the way.
Oh,
no,
dude, you don't have to do that.
No, there was a joke that I had. I think, Brian, like the first time I met you when we were at the hotel party with everyone or whatever, I think I said, I know when I'll have officially made it in the hobby when people just start sending me stuff for no reason, because like you got stuff like all the time or whatever. But yeah, that was kind of mind blowing. But
yeah, that's crazy, man. The people send, like, I don't usually put my PO box out there very often because I don't know.
Who knows what you get?
I deserve people sending me stuff, you know. So.
It is pretty crazy, and it's, you know, I'm sure you guys are like myself as well. Is you're always thankful when somebody does that and thinks of it or whatever. But yeah, I can remember the first card show where I got a table. This was probably about 2.5 years ago. Someone was going through my quarter bin and he was pulling all the Packers cards out, and I was like, "Oh, are you a Packers fan?" He's like, "No, big Lions fan." I'm like, "Why are you buying all the Packers cards?" He's like, "There's this guy on YouTube who loves the Packers, and I'm going to send him all these cards." And I was like, "What?"
Oh, man.
I was like, "Oh my God, I got to find out who this guy is."
That's crazy, man.
Well, you guys it's been so great to catch up. Anything else? Any other questions or things you want to catch up on?
I don't think so.
Whether we miss the National this year or have to wait till next year, or when things settle down, it'd be great to catch up with you guys.
We'll link up again, dude, for sure.
Yeah. Maybe go hit up that Chicago show. That's pretty close to both of us.
Yeah.
Totally.
Please.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. Sure.
Yeah. I don't know about that house, but maybe we can get another house a little closer, or a hotel.
Yeah. Yeah.
Avoid the 30-minute drive. Cool.
Yeah, right.
Well, once again, guys, thank you so much. It's been awesome spending time with you. It's great to catch up too. Brian, I hope your surgery goes well.
Thanks, man.
Both of you stay safe out there and all that good stuff. My best to your families.
Likewise.
If you guys want to hang on for just a second, I'm going to go ahead and end the YouTube stream. So everyone on YouTube, thank you so much for checking it out. Make sure you just subscribe to all the channels, guys. I'm sure everyone in the chat already does for these two, but if you're new to our channel, you can always hit that sub button. Thank you.
And visit MikeyBCards.com for all your breaking needs.
Thank you, Bob. Once again, that check's in the mail. YouTube, we'll see you guys. Have a good one.
All right, see ya.